I'm Lucy Alexander from the Institute of Sustainability at the American Institute of Chemical Engineers here at the Carbon Management Technology Conference with Representative Rocky Adkins, Majority Leader, Kentucky House. Representative Adkins, can you talk to us about the role of policy in CCUS?
Well, I think the role of policy, especially at state legislative levels, is really to advance the research and development through sound policy. And basically what that means is legislation like I passed in 2007, where the Center for Applied Energy Research at the University of Kentucky, basically we are a coal state, we're an agriculture state, and we build our policy around who we are. And to be able to make coal competitive in the future, it was pretty evident that possible CO2 regulations would come down at some point in time, and sure enough, here we are. So we built in good, strong language that basically advanced the research and development in carbon capture, first of all, and then advanced that on to carbon sequestration, carbon storage, and carbon utilization. And we built that in this legislation, and I think it showed a lot of vision for us to do that. And I think as important as that, we built in incentives that would hopefully bring about plants of the future, technologies of the future, and for those facilities to be built in Kentucky using our legislation, they had to be carbon capture ready. And we did that for a reason. Kentucky, its energy, more than 90% of it is produced from coal. And we know that low-cost energy is a key, and Kentucky is third, fourth, fifth most low-cost energy state in the nation. And that has given us a big competitive advantage in being able to recruit major industry. We have a very strong and healthy industrial manufacturing sector because low-cost energy, reliable energy from coal has allowed us to recruit Toyota manufacturing auto facility. Ford motor plant is in Kentucky. Corvette makes their car in Kentucky. GE is in Kentucky. We're the #1 producers of aluminum in Kentucky. So we have a very heavy-based industrial manufacturing sector. We rank #2 in auto manufacturing, the number of cars produced, #2 in America. So low-cost energy is a key for us to have good jobs in the future. And with us as a legislature, both Democrats and Republicans, a very bipartisan bill, I was the prime sponsor. It was key for us to have smart policy that would have us ready on the forefront on any regulations that may come down from Washington, D.C. And without carbon capture technologies, without carbon capture sequestration, storage, utilization being a part of our policy, then I don't think it would have put us in a position to really be probably as advanced in the research and development component, maybe as any state in America. And we're proud of that. We have challenged our universities in this legislation to work in collaboration to bring out their research and development they're doing to develop the new energy technologies of the future using coal, oil and gas, agriculture, which is a big part of our industry. So, you know, smart policy is so, I think, important, and it really sets, I think, the tone. So at the state level, I think that we have put in place a policy that has been recognized by the Council of State Governments, an organization that oversees all legislatures and the legislation we pass. And they named our legislation a national model that other states should follow, plus the congressional chambers should follow, both the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, because I think it was balanced, I think it had vision, and I really think it put us in a place to bring on the new energy technologies of the future, especially in the areas of carbon capture, carbon sequestration for oil and gas recovery, or carbon storage and utilization. We believed in it so strongly that the energy incentive component that we built in this legislation basically also made the incentives available for CO2 pipeline infrastructures. For instance, Denbury came to us and said, if you do build a coal-fired power plant or a coal-to-liquids plant, or you build any type of fossil fuel facility and you capture that technology, you got to have the infrastructure to move that CO2 to its destination to be used in the future. So we allowed our energy incentives to also qualify for CO2 pipelines that are being built today. So I think we've got smart policy. I think we've got policy that makes common sense, and I think it's got flexibility built into it that I think will make it workable for the future. Much different than the regulations coming down from the federal level. The Clean Power Plan, in my opinion, has got the policy way out in front of the technology, and any time that that happens, it sets up a dangerous precedent with, we see coal-fired power plants being shut and shuttered all over the country, instead of the new age of coal-fired power plants being built to meet the energy demand of the future. So I think our legislation has built in the components that are needed in realistic common sense legislation that may come down, or regulations that may come down from Washington, D.C. And hopefully all of this will balance out in the end to where we're still able to use the natural resources we have to be able to produce the energy of the future to keep us a competitive nation.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me today and for presenting at the conference.
I'm honored to be here. I wish you the very best. We got a lot of work left to do.
Yeah.